morning. Finally some nice weather here in the UK. Today I am going down to my local loop to do a little bit of a workout. If you watched the last video on the channel, I had a pretty disappointing 10k race, but putting that behind me with another race this Friday. So this is the workout that sort of bridges the gap between the two races. Looking back at the race, it was not really the time that I was disappointed. I ran 32:18. Where I thought my fitness was at going into that race, it was about a minute off what I expected to run on the day. But anyway, putting that race behind me, get back stuck into training, another race at the weekend to sort of put it to right. So yeah, this morning's workout is 5k tempo, just a little bit of aerobic work, and I'm doing 2 by 1k at around 5k pace, and then 6 times 200 a little bit quicker to spin the legs. So it's a bit of a mishmash workout, a little bit of tempo, a little bit of 5k specific speed, and then some time over work at the end. So yeah, should be nice, progress throughout in terms of paces, and just heading down to my local loop, which is about 400 meters on the road. So I'll do 12.5 laps of that to start with, and then some K reps. But yeah, bounced back fairly well in terms of how the legs felt after the race. I'm not really sure why it went so wrong. One of the main factors is just going off too hard and not sort of running your own race. When you haven't raced in a little while, I think sometimes it takes a few times to get back into that racing sort of mindset, and realising that if you do go off at a pace that you're not comfortable with, it's going to come back to bite you. And in that race it got me after about 3k. Usually when I start off a little bit too quick, I can sort of dial it back a little bit and still finish fairly strong. But on that race, yeah, I died a pretty painful death after 3k, and then yeah, I was struggling to hit sort of marathon pace for the middle section. Managed to rally a little bit towards the end, but yeah, finished 11th, and it was more a lack of competitiveness that I was disappointed with. It was the Essex champs, and to come 11th was a bit of a disappointment. I was hoping to contend with the top 3, so there we go. It's a disappointing race, but nothing like fuel for the fire, and I hopefully have a good session today to bridge the gap between the two races. So I've got today's workout programmed into my Coros. I'm a Coros supported athlete or content creator here on the platform, just as a bit of a disclaimer, but absolutely love the Coros in terms of setting up workouts. Super easy on the app, and it just syncs straight to your phone, so you don't have to remember the workout or write it down on your hand, especially if you're doing a road session like I am this morning. So that's really handy. And I'll also be tracking my heart rate with the Coros armband, which I wear for all of my runs, to be honest, because it gives really accurate heart rate data, and it's super comfortable. Here we are, Priory Farm Road, where dreams are made of. Nice little road loop, not many cars because everyone's got a driveway. So yeah, perfect for a session like this morning. And the other good thing about having it all programmed into your watch, as soon as you press lap and start that first rep, then the workout is go. There's no going back. The workout doesn't stop for you. The reps keep coming and the rests are programmed in. So yeah, 5k is the first rep, and I'm just about to start it now. Sort of a tempo effort, and then we'll go into those faster 1k efforts. So here we go, 3, 2, 1. That's the 5k tempo done, around 16 minutes, maybe 16:02. Now I've got 2 minutes walk and recovery, and then I'm into those 2 by 1k where I've got to try and pick up the pace a little bit. But yeah, not feeling too bad today. Legs a little bit heavy after gym session yesterday, but it's good to have heavy legs in training, because then when it comes to the race, when your legs are fresh, it feels easy. That's the theory anyway. But 45 seconds to go. There we go. Got a little bit warm towards the end there, but ticked it off. Finished those 200s nice and quick. So yeah, happy with that. just going to jog back to the house and then I'll talk you through the splits on the Chorus app. So I just had some lunch and showered after this morning session. It went really well, and I always find that after a not so great race, it really motivates me in my training to sort of put wrongs to right. But I just quickly wanted to jump on to the Chorus app. If you've got a Chorus, you may not even know this exists, and if you don't, and you have been interested in what a Chorus may offer, then here is a really good deep dive into the Chorus Training Hub. So if I jump over here onto my laptop, this is basically where all of your data that the watch collects is stored. So you've got things like your running fitness, your heart rate zones, your threshold pace, race predictors, your personal running records. Everything is stored over here on the Training Hub. If I click over here onto the Evo Lab, then there's even more metrics on here, including training load, 4-week intensity distribution, and yeah, plenty more, as you can see. And I just wanted to talk through how I use this data in my training, and more specifically on to today's session. So if we have a look here in my training log, you get this chart up here at the top where you can basically choose what metrics you look at. So at the moment I'm displaying pace. I usually look at heart rate as well, based on the heart rate monitor. And that's usually around it. Maybe if I was doing hill reps, I'd have effort pace on there, but today was a nice flat loop, so effort pace isn't really necessary. And then you get this great charts for data analysis. So as you can see here, this was the tempo section of the workout. Heart rate's around 174 beats per minute, and the pace is 323. If we move on to those 1K reps, as you can see, my pace is now around 258, around 302, and the heart rate is closer to the 180. And then if we go over to these 200 meter reps, you can see the pace is a lot faster, 232 per kilometer. Heart rate isn't quite as high. This is because the reps are a little bit shorter, and this is more an anaerobic workout section of the workout. So the heart rate typically doesn't go quite as high, sort of hits around 174 before dropping back down to 150 during the 45 seconds recovery, and then it goes back up during the workout. And then this final bit here is the warm down. So as you can see, around 145 beats per minute for the warm down at 455 per kilometer. And it also gives you a detailed analysis of each repetition. So here you have one of the 1K reps. The time duration was 3 minutes, and the average heart rate for that repetition was 174, and it tells you the effort pace there as well. You get a sort of more simplified version of this on the phone, but I always like to look on my laptop for that really detailed analysis. Final thing to note here is you can see it gives you a score on your aerobic training effect and your anaerobic training effect. So you can see today's workout was 3.1, improving in terms of aerobic, which was that tempo section of the workout, and I also got an anaerobic stimulus as well with those 200 meter reps, a 3.5 improving. So actually that workout was more improved my anaerobic more so than it did my aerobic. And going into some more faster races, I'm trying to focus a little bit more on pushing my top end speed up a little bit. So it's good to see that workout worked both the aerobic and anaerobic systems. That's a little bit about the Chorus app and how the watch sort of syncs with that app and gives you all that data. I will say, if you do get a Chorus, the first few weeks, the data on the app won't necessarily be too specific to you. It takes a little while for the watch to learn all of your zones, and I think I personally found after a month, 2 months, that was when it really started to get accurate in terms of my race predictor. Interestingly, at the moment it says my 5K is around 14:45, and that is when conditions are perfect in an ideal situation. So I reckon I'm in around 15-minute shape. We'll see come Friday, and that's what I'd like to run at the moment, at this point in the season. I've got lots of races coming up to look forward to on the calendar. Most of the races are on the track. I've got one 5K in August on the road. So it'd be good to get some frequent racing in to see if I can sort of progress through that top end speed, or what I call top end speed anyway, as a marathon runner before transitioning back into the marathons towards the end of the year. But I hope you enjoyed the insight into today's session. After a bad race, it's always good to get back into training. You can either be down in the dumps and lack motivation to get into training, or I find you can really channel that disappointment into getting back out there, getting stuck in, and hopefully putting wrongs to right when it comes to the next race. That's what I plan to do anyway, and yeah, we'll see if it pays off on Friday down at the Finsbury Park 5000s. It's a sort of festival of 5k races. I think there's 7 on the night. My race is at 9:30. So if you'd like to come down and spectate, 9:10, sorry, not 9:30, then yeah, come down to Finsbury Park in London and watch some 5,000 metre races. I think there's some beers and some food, so it should be a really good atmosphere. And there's 31 guys in my race. The start list just got announced. So there's runners all the way from around 14 minutes 10 down to around 15:50 in my race. So it should be really good. I think I'm seeded 12th out of 30 guys. So yeah, really looking forward to that one. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, aspire to run, run to inspire, and we'll see you again soon.